Okay, Franco, you're in the studio. Same question for you. For your company, what's your corporate purpose and why did you decide on the one you have?
Thank you, Wim. Well, I'll just relate to you a small story of when I was offered the job to join the company around 10 years ago. At that time, I was an avid cyclist, and to me and to my mind, trucks and trailers, they were a nuisance. Um, Road pollution, danger on the roads. I had no esteem whatsoever for the transport industry. So it was a bit of a challenge trying to understand whether this was a job that fits me or whether it's something that is completely alien to my lifestyle and all. So I spoke to the board of directors, who were also the owners, and these guys were in the third generation. So immediately to my mind came, the father sows, the son reaps, the grandson consumes, and then, everything dismantles. So that was already a bit of a challenge for me to try and reconcile with these gentlemen. However, the one question I put, which is related and comes nicely into the topic, is what do you want of me? What do you want of this company? Do you want, you're being in the third generation, do you want to milk the cow dry and, end it? And they said, no, we want a company that endures. We want a company that will endure to future generations. And that is what excited me. I said, over here, we probably have a challenge. Okay, I joined, and my mission at that point in time was to actually instill amongst these people a sense of purpose, to actually create this durability they wanted out of the company, by actually instilling a sense of sustainability. You can't have anything that is durable that is not sustainable. Now, the transport industry is pretty tricky because we depend on the latest technologies that are around in terms of engines, in terms of consumption, in terms of, yes, pollution. But there's a lot of development going on. And the first thing that we did is that our investment plan is such that we change all our vehicles to the latest engine technology. So most of our, we have 6 kilometers of equipment on the road. So bumper to bumper, it's quite a lot of vehicles. And most of them are Euro 6 engines. That's the latest we can find at this point in time. Sprinter vans are electric vehicles. But the most important thing, apart from the investment in hardware, is the mindset that I wanted to instill in the people, starting from the entrepreneur, from the owner, right down to the flag bearer, who is the helper, who is the driver, who is the trucker, and we came up with this hashtag "We Are Orange." I know that Nick Hill would be, he's orange as well, and we also have this "Leave No One Behind," which we coined very staunchly when the COVID struck, the pandemic struck. There was a knee-jerk reaction. The investors were perhaps saying, we should not renew contracts. Maybe we should consider 4-day week. Transport we got a hit of around 40% in the initial, the first quarter. So it was a big challenge. But I must say that with the right mindset that we had invested in together, the investor understood that he is the entrepreneur, and it's not the employee who is the entrepreneur, and we really left no one behind. So COVID was the litmus test, so to speak, of what we had invested in over the past decade, since we tried to instill proper governance in the company. This was, you need to understand, this company I work for, Express Trailers, yes, it's a 50-year-old company, family business, 8 brothers, the father was the founder, and now there are the children of those brothers who are working in the company. Today we are just shy of 300 people. So it's a bit of a complex, family-owned, and there's participation also in management by family. So yeah, I think that overall we establish the purpose, even in the subconscious, but truly ingrained in the hard coded in the bones of the company.
All right, thank you. Franco, same question for you. What do you do to lead personally on purpose, and how do you show your commitment to the different stakeholders?
Well, the way I do it is I focus a lot on the governance side of things. I strongly believe that once you've got, you know, the top part of the company and the bottom part of the company interlinked with this, what we call governance, proper governance, with the correct understanding, leading by example. Yes, we do. I mean, I personally even went on a tour with one of the truckers. It's not an easy life trying to understand. And I understood even more when we have this surreal picture of one of our trucks on M7 in the UK during the pandemic, solo. Imagine an 8-lane motorway with just one truck on the road. Imagine the trucker being on his own there. If anything had to happen to him, you know, it's and we did have obviously some difficulties in people wanting to go on the roads and serve the societies. But one message that we drove through, not only to the general public, but internally, because I strongly believe in the governance side and then the internal communication. And this I own personally, and I do it with a lot of vigor, is that we are serving the societies. Malta is surrounded by the sea, and we're isolated. And as long as there are humans living here, there has to be transportation. There has to be transportation of cargo, whatever we see around us, whatever we own, whatever we wear. Probably we carried it because, of course, we're net importers in Malta. So we, our people, this is the message I give them every single day. I mix with my people every day. I'm at the office at 6 o'clock in the morning. I have coffees with the industrialists. And this is the message I give them every time, that we are serving the society. We have a noble mission. We have gained respect for them. Logistics has been given a different dimension. We have invested a lot in our communication out there. And we do get that sort of respect back. I have to admit that, I mean, what Mark is saying, that you know, giving back to society. Unfortunately, we're not seen. Express Trailers is not seen as giving back to society, because what we give, we do it silently. We don't believe as a policy that philanthropy has a marketing currency. We don't use it as a marketing currency, but we do help. We know we are a nuisance on the road, so our focus in what we used to call the corporate social responsibility, now we have the ESG and we have other, is that we support inclusiveness in road activities, so in marathons and triathlon events, as long as it's not a podium elite sport that we support, but we do support organizations that have inclusiveness in their policy, in you know, who is obese, who is fit, who is mature, who is young, gender equality. As long as there are those ingredients in whatever event is being organized, we are there to support. And this we do with persuasion and conviction, and we do it focused to give back something to society for the nuisance we are on the road. So we try and link whatever we give with this type of focus. As I said, it's not a big company. It's by local standards. Yes, it might be considered on the borderline between the medium and the large, but we do our best. And me personally, I feel I am the intermediator, the mentor, the instigator, the designer of these mindsets, linking them, as I said, through proper governance.
All right, thank you very much. Maria, to end up with you, same to you, what is it that you do personally, and how do you show that commitment to your stakeholders?
We're very much same to what Mark and Franco said before me. I do believe a lot in leading by example. I believe about being hands-on. So leading by example, but by showing the various stakeholders. By stakeholders, I mean our shareholders, our board of directors, our employees, who I believe I can only measure my success or the success in what I'm doing in this regard is creating many ambassadors out there saying the same thing and behaving in the same ways. So I think that the measure of success when we come to leading by example and hands-on approach is how much do we contaminate the people, whether it's employees, whether it is the society we operate in, with our principles, with our objectives, and with the impacts we want to leave on society.
Okay, thank you. Now for the audience, what you see here is 4 people that believe in purpose. I have to say there are still business people that are not so much believing in purpose and are not so much believing in the sustainability issue and in the social impacts that companies have. And that's part of that, you know, the problem of credibility. And so, Nikhil, can I ask you, how do you make sure that your people and your company trust and believe your purpose statement and your purpose strategy?
Yeah, I think so. I think the first thing we did was we built our purpose ground up. So I think about 2.5 years ago, we had roughly 800 people participating in conversations to actually figure out why do we exist. The question was, if Go did not exist, what would happen? So it started with that. And I think we mapped a journey where all these 800 people and the 100 contractors we use were involved in our discussions beyond the broader stakeholders. So that actually helped us to just define a purpose where everybody contributed to it. The bigger objective was we didn't want purpose to be nice posters and words on the wall. And we actively work towards that. In fact, you will not find our purpose even on our website today, but it exists in our hearts. So in order to do that, what we do is we started with every quarter, we have what we call purpose weeks. We have conversation. 1 week, there's a conversation across the company where everybody participates, talks about our progress, talks about what can we do to live our purpose, our values. From that, we actually define projects that we'll implement over the next 3 to 6 months. For example, one of our values is obsess over customers. And as part of that, we said, look, today we want to have a promise where nobody can go to bed without internet. So that immediately became a project, a rallying cry. And now we have a metric where everybody can see how many customers are going to bed without internet. We are not perfect, but the whole point is by defining it and actually measuring progress, people start seeing that the organization is acting on their views, right? Then what we started doing is that we started using our purpose and our values as a lens to describe everything we do in our business. It became our language. We even so much so that we overhauled our performance reward systems. Today at Go, any employee can reward any other employee 25 euros, unlimited number of times in a year. All he has to do or she has to do is that essentially go into our company. We have a blog or a portal of sorts, and just in a very short description, explain why this employee has lived our values and our purpose. There's no questions asked. There's no worrying about who games the system. And the power of that is amazing because it creates not only a peer pressure, but people see good examples of how your purpose is being lived. So this was a key element, not only just working at top down, but actually have a bottom-up effect where every month, every week, people are seeing that the ideas they give are being implemented, and we are seeing progress along the metrics we have defined. And so essentially that's, and last but not least is communications. I think one of the big things about purpose was actually making the company more transparent. Being a public company, it used to be like 10% of the company would know most of the information. We have changed that around, and it's not a massive act. But for example, every Friday I write a blog which talks about some key development or our results for the year or something somebody has done in the company to live our purpose. We have a 1-hour town hall every week where at least 30 to 40% of the employees attend, where for 15 minutes we discuss a new project, a product launch, and then there's 45 minutes where all employees can ask questions anonymously. And as top management, we sit together and we actually answer those questions. So defining a purpose ground up, having projects which show measurable improvement month on month, and then actually having a open, transparent culture and communication is how I think one can build credibility around their purpose.
Yes, that's a really good explanation. Franco, same question for you.
Okay, so as I said, the first thing I worked on is the governance side. And like Nikhil is saying, I mean, communication is key. So from there, once we have the mindset all defined, my role was to communicate at all levels of the company. Now, you'd understand that a vast majority of our people are drivers and truckers and assistants and helpers. Yes, we have, of course, the administration block, and out of the administration block, we meet in monthly meetings. So 20% of the administration is involved in the actual business plan, which is a rolling 3 plan, and we do it every year. And there's 3 solid months of brainstorming and what we can do better and what we did right, and let's do it again. And yeah, everything is circling around this "We Are Orange" hashtag "We Are Orange" that we coined a couple of years back, and that was a bit of a bold move because you'd understand that our owners have had the orange color for 50 years, but it meant it's just a flagship color for them. What's in a color, so to speak. Discussing with our marketing people, and we said, but we need to get something out of, something unique. And this was a bold move. I mean, Steve Jobs managed to change the dictionary meaning of Apple. And we said, why not? We are orange, I mean, we're not, it's not a bold statement that will be like the Steve Jobs going global with that. So it's not our intention to change the dictionary meaning of orange, but the orange color. And when we're asked, but why do you say we are orange? Well, what's this hype? And yeah, believe me, this has filtered down to all employees, and that is what is used amongst them, even when showing camaraderie, even in a social event. This is the "We Are Orange." It's vibrant, but the essence of it is the meaning of what it stands for, and it stands for it's the family values that we inherited from the brothers and from the founder of the company and from the 3rd generation. And of course, the vast majority are not family members in management anymore. So the vast majority are non-family members, but with proper governance, there's equality. It's not, there's no concept or idea that because of a person is in management and belongs to the family, there's something more than, so there's equality, there's a strong understanding. And yeah, it's a challenge all the time because people do feel different because family is family then, but that sense of equality, articulated amongst all employees, the vast majority that is not family feels at home anyway. So they do actually feel as part of the family in the same way. So it's been a journey. I think the turning point or the point that made people really believe what we're trying to do was this COVID. So with every tragedy, perhaps one can find also the opportunities. The fact that we lived our word, we left no one behind, really and truly. We stopped no employment. We paid everyone every single cent. Everybody worked wholeheartedly. They understood that that they were part of a social mission, that they were bringing food on the table of people, medicines, pharmaceuticals, you know. So our people all felt this vibrant, this meaning to this "We Are Orange." It came out in the COVID times. And I think that was amazing. It was something that we didn't plan for, but it happened. And when it happened, you know, the wheat was separated from the chaff, and this mission that we've had over a number of years actually came to fruition. And I have to say, I'm very proud of all the people who work there, and we're quite a strong team. And I think even the people we serve, the communities we serve, they do understand that, you know, as I said before, if they're having anything on the table, if the table per se, that has been carried by us, by one of our people.
Right. Okay, thank you.